Hello and welcome to Rec 3202 Women in Leisure here at California State University East Bay. The following is a narrative of a leisure activity experiment that has been conducted by me, Ted Young. The leisure activity assignment for this project was chosen as an activity that a male would not normally participate in. I chose one of the choices, which was to grow a small garden of some sort, which includes the following: growing tomato plants from seed, and growing tomato plants from an already blooming plant. The outcome: successful. You will see and hear in this presentation through pictures and videos my experience of growing these plants, the journey along the way, and the success I had. I will also engage in some history on gardening, as well as other topics about my leisure project. Okay, let's start with some history and current issues. First question would be, is to put the activity into historical perspective. Why has it been predominantly for the opposite gender? In my own opinion, I feel that gardening and yard work have been actually both a male and female activity over time. However, gardening can get tricky in terms of what types of gardening. It might be suffice to say that farming crops such as corn, wheat, and other mass-produced foods are cultivated by a larger percentage of males. In terms of this, of course, and this particular activity of gardening, I would consider my activity a more female activity. I am currently growing tomato plants, one in which I bought a pre-grown plant which was about 1 foot tall, and then also planted seeds. The seeded plants are now about 3 or so inches tall. Humans have been gardening since the beginning of time, according to historical articles. Furthermore, gardening is somewhat considered an art expression of nature in a very civilized way. Also, individuals' expression and pride in a specific landscape. Men tended to participate in gardening often as well as women. Let's put the activity into current perspective today. People today, both male and female, tend to gardens on a global scale. My friend's father tends to his garden on a regular basis, as well as my grandfather. Typically, it is thought that only women garden. However, studies have shown that both males can garden a lot too. My theories as to why there are no historical changes to my activity of gardening is that gardening is so widely participated in that there seems to be no way it will ever disappear. According to the article, Indian Zoological and Botanical Gardens, Historical Perspective and a Way Forward, author Sally Walker says, many colonial botanic gardens kept wild animals. Some had respectable collections which included great apes, rhinos, large carnivores, and other erotica from neighboring continental areas. This practice was probably most prevalent in Asia, where it can be argued that the elaborate gardens of kings combined with their collections of wild animals created a way of thinking that influenced the future development of colonial botanic gardens. Another article I found interesting was on the Sonnenberg Gardens and Mansions State Historic Park in the state of New York. The author boasted, today Sonnenberg Gardens is a New York historic park where a late 19th century Victorian estate with a Queen Anne-style mansion, a 9 formal gardens of the world, is being preserved. Sonnenberg is the former summer home and creation of Frederick Ferris and Mary Clark Thompson. He was a New York City banker. Mr. Thompson died in 1889. His wife ultimately took over the gardening process, which should suggest that women typically would garden more than men. This is not true in my opinion. Today, many gardeners are men. If you hire a gardening company, they're mostly comprised of men. Of course, there will be women. However, it seems that, again, a lot of companies such as gardening companies, landscape companies will have mostly males. Relationship to class materials. How or why does this activity fit into traditional ideals of leisure for the opposite gender? This activity fits into traditional opposite gender roles because men seem to enjoy gardening. They are good at it, and it seems like it fits quite well. At least the rough part of it, such as digging, trenching, etc. I think that males really do enjoy gardening because of the caveman-like flexibility it has. You can get dirty, you can stain your clothes, etc. I think gardening also might appeal to men too because maybe they feel like they can grow food for their family and it gives a sense of self-pride. The activity relates to class materials very much. It relates because so far we have covered a lot about typical female roles, and gardening seems to fit the typical female role. However, I'm starting to feel that it can lean both ways. I have seen a lot of male gardening companies in my life, and also farming, which is a form of gardening, seems to be mostly males. I had not participated in gardening before because I did not have an interest in it. My constraints are that I am quite busy and that I have never really thought about gardening and how much fun it could be. To support how this course relates to my gardening activity, I found that traditional male roles have undergone a transformation. In the article How Traditional Male Roles Have Been Redefined in America by Carol Rucker, I read that male roles have gone through a dramatic transformation over the past few decades. Ask a baby boomer to tell you how it was way back when. They would reminisce about coming of age in a world where men ruled the home and women kept it clean. Of course, this is changing today, which is totally fine. Reflection on your personal learning. How did this activity challenge you? What were you feeling when you participated? This activity challenged me because at first I was very concerned that I would not be able to grow the actual plants or that they would die. I felt very good at the fact that I was able to grow a vegetable for 4 weeks solid and have it actually grow to a sufficient size. It made me feel well accomplished and I would recommend it to anyone. What insights into your leisure for your gender and the opposite gender were gained? Insights into leisure for males and females for gardening were that males do not garden and it's mostly a female activity when in actuality I feel it is both for males and females. Would you participate in the activity again? I would definitely participate in gardening again. It has been a stellar time learning about how plants grow and especially watching them grow over the last 4 years. I never thought I could actually grow a garden of vegetables on my own, or tomatoes. The experience will be with me forever, and I now know how to actually grow tomatoes from a tiny seed. Good luck to all you gardeners out there. Thank you.